Hello. Good evening, all. Welcome to another podcast, just about movies. I'm here with Elliot, Jack, Alex, and myself, Dan. And as it's Christmas, we're going to be talking about our 4 favourite Christmas films. So, who would like to start, guys?
Well, Jack,
Elliot?
your one.
Me? I'm going first.
Go on.
That's cool. I'm starting off with this one's a love-hate. I know a lot of people who hate this one, but I'm going with my top one is How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000.
The Grinch!
Jim Carrey, amazing. We've all heard the stories about his prosthetic eyes and how it took him like 4 hours just to get them in. This won an Oscar, which is quite surprising, guys, isn't it, to be fair? But I think it's given normally like a 6 rating out of 10 across the board by most rating, which I think is quite harsh because it's definitely like a Christmas classic, isn't it? If you like Dr. Seuss and you like the original, I can't remember when the original was, but the remake I watched recently in 2018, the one which was...
the animated one.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch wasn't great. But it's Ron Howard. It's a Ron Howard film. Narrated by Anthony Hopkins. Good old Welsh pride. He's amazing. Great voice. It's just, I love it. I love the whole Dr. Seuss universe. I love the style. I love the I think Jim Carrey just it's one of his best performances. And he's so funny, but he is scary at the same time. And and Ron Howard's brother's in it. Clint Howard is the assistant to Jeffrey Tambor, so he's the little assistant. There's a lot of tie-ins. Like he's with those. Yeah, it's just a great. I love this one, boys. It's one of my favourites.
I like the good stuff. You're right though. A lot of people don't like it, but I think it's like which one? I liked Cat in the Hat as well. I thought that was funny. You know, the live action one.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people don't like that sort of thing, but I thought Grinch was hilarious.
Taxi! It's because I'm green, isn't it? You did the right thing.
Jack, what did it win an Oscar for?
Best makeup design, which makes sense because their noses are like they got those funny noses, haven't they? And they got. I think the whole set. If you look at the set design as well, it's really good. It's like great. It's the actual Whoville is a really good set design for the village, and they've got it in the theme park in Universal you can visit, which is it's sort of replicated there, which is really cool.
Those live action Dr. Seuss films were class. Like I think they were done really well, but they're not allowed to do them live action anymore because Mike Myers in Cat in the Hat made the dirty hoe joke. When he steps on the hoe, the thingy. And it pops up. Apparently, I don't know if it's the daughter of Dr. Seuss or like the granddaughter, but apparently she was so offended by it, she was like, "You're never allowed to do a live action one again." That's why ever since then they've been animated. Which is crazy, isn't it? But I think, like you said, I think the Grinch, Cat in the Hat, I think they were really good films. They're like the Grinch is so well made. I think it's a bit of a shock as well when you hear Ron Howard directed it. Apollo 13. And the Grinch, okay.
Top tier, man. And Bryce Howard now, isn't she? She's doing loads. So she did a lot of episodes of Mandalorian and loads of other stuff. Bryce Howard, and she acts like she's in Jurassic World, isn't she, and all that as well. So it's a good family. The Howards, they're a solid family across the board there.
Have you seen Cindy Lou Who from The Grinch? Have you seen what she's like now?
No, she fit.
No. We're not going down that route, okay? We're not being those guys. She is fit, and she's in she's in that band, Pretty Reckless. Like she's proper like emo like chick. Like it's just crazy. I didn't realize. I only found this out like the other day because my missus is a massive Pretty Reckless fan, and she was like, "Oh, that's Cindy Lou Who from The Grinch." I was like, "Fucking crazy!" Like I didn't realize how that. Did you say it came out in 2000?
2000, yeah, it's like 20 years old.
Older than I thought it was. I thought it was a little bit later than that.
I thought it was older, to be fair.
Did you?
I always remember it. See, I just don't remember it.
Was bit older than I was when it came out, but maybe not.
Yeah, I never used to like it when I first watched it, in all fairness. It's the wife's favourite Christmas film. So
Is it?
I'll give it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, good taste, Phil.
Have
I'll give it a watch again. And
have you seen the viral video of the bloke that last Christmas who decked his house out to look like the Grinch's house, and he dressed up as the Grinch and proper like acts like him? And I thought it was amazing. Like, he did it so well. It's like, you'd love to be able to like put the effort into that.
I saw the guy recently. See the one that we shared the other day with the guy who set up the bench and children come to have a photo and he pops up as the Grinch and they're just terrified. Like, terrified. Like, running for their lives. It's amazing.
There's a really good social post of that in there. Just like loads of kids just screaming and crying, holding on to them for pictures. Like, oh, that's a good film then, Jack. Great choice. I'll be honest, I don't know how many people would pick that as like the film, so it's like quite nice to talk about something like that.
Yeah, definitely not everyone's cup of tea, that's for sure. But I'm a big fan.
Choice. An Oscar winner.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Very good, Jack. Alex?
I went with Home Alone.
Oh, nice.
We've all seen Home Alone, haven't we?
I don't think we have. Has anyone seen it? It's a bit of an unknown, that one, isn't it?
Or is it? Yeah. It's a horror film, isn't it? Home Alone.
Yeah.
Here we go. Debate. Horror film.
The debate if it's a horror film or a Christmas film.
Oh, God, go with Black Christmas or Krampus or something.
The nation's favourite Christmas film, apparently.
Is it?
What, Home Alone?
Yeah, I noticed it was on TV the other night, and it said Home Alone, UK's favourite Christmas film or something like that. Yeah.
It's
nice.
Yeah. Great film. Talk us through it, Alex. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's quite a very personal film to me because I religiously watch it every Christmas Eve to get in the mood for it, and I've watched it every Christmas Eve since I was a kid. But it's one of those films that always brings up a lot of childhood memories, like when you see Kevin in the house with all his toys. When you was a kid, you wanted all those toys, and you was always afraid of like the basement, just because of that film. But his brother Buzz, he had I just remember like I wanted his money box on the shelf, and I wanted a shelf like his with all the toys on it. That house was just like so rich. Like I think every kid was so jealous of everything he had in that house. But you never actually seen his room, did you? You never seen Kevin's room in the film. Like I think it was the only room in the house we never seen, which was Kevin's room.
That's cool.
That's a good point.
Little fun fact there for you. Another fun fact. Do you remember that scene where Kevin sees Buzz's girlfriend on a picture?
I know this one.
Yeah, that's not actually a girl, it's a boy.
Yeah.
And it was played by the art director's son.
Yeah, because they didn't want to embarrass. They didn't want to embarrass any girl enough to make them that hideous.
Yeah, it's cool.
Nice, isn't it?
That's really. I think it's really nice, and it makes the moment funnier. Like,
because when you look at it now, it's such a little boy's face. Like, if you look at it,
when I was younger, I thought it was Buzz dressed as a girl. I thought his girlfriend was him dressed as a girl. Like,
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
it's only in later viewings I sort of go, oh no, it's obviously a different person, but it's still a boy dressed as a girl, which is just brilliant.
Woof.
Woof.
Yeah, so it was produced by John Hughes and directed by Chris Columbus. So that's like a big combination right there. You've got John Hughes, who's like he did Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller, and Chris.
That sort of era.
Yeah, Chris Columbus, who did like Mrs. Doubtfire, Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Had a big part in The Goonies.
I found out the other day as well. He was a producer of Jingle All the Way, which is another good Christmas film.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's he loves like love that impression. He's like a very family orientated director, and he focuses on a lot of family problems, and so like Mrs. Doubtfire, Home Alone, it's all about the family and all the emotions to do with that, which is really good.
Joe Pesci.
Yeah, Joe Pesci is amazing in it, to be fair. And
What
who's
was
the other
that, sorry?
guy?
Just Joe
Like,
Pesci being in the film, just like amazing.
Yeah, he's class, and them two make such good bad guys. Those two.
Yeah,
What was the name of the other guy? I always forget his name.
I always do as well.
It's a
he's
shame.
one of those guys. You saw him in that, and you didn't see him in much else, did you? To be fair,
That's it. It's one of those ones.
I only remember him from that. I wouldn't be able to recognise him.
I want to give him a shout out because he deserves it because he's class.
Stern. Daniel Stern.
Yeah,
that's the one.
absolutely class.
The man with the screen. He's so famous for his screen.
That spider bit. That spider bit gets me every single time. That bit where he's like the spider's crawling on and he's going Marv, Marv, like that.
Yeah, and that scream is so good.
Absolutely gets. It's just so funny.
Another fact: the first scene to be shot in that film was the toothbrush scene when Kevin's in the supermarket. That was the first scene they shot. And yeah, the soundtrack's like, just a quick shout about the soundtrack. The soundtrack in the film is like very haunting. I don't know if you felt that, but when you watch that film and you hear that kind of choiristic Christmas songs and hymns, it's quite a haunting kind of soundtrack, I thought. But you always relate that kind of music to Christmas because of that film, I think.
I love the soundtrack to it. That just the happy bit of it. I feel like that for me is the Christmassy part of the film almost. You know, the nice bit at the end. That bit for me is like like Christmas. That does feel like Christmas when you watch that sort of thing.
Great part.
Yeah,
and I like the intensity as well because they then jump it up a notch. You know, the chase sequence where he's getting ready to set up, and it's like really fast-paced orchestra.
Yeah,
and it's
it's so good. That is.
Yeah, that's class as well.
Yeah.
But
so Home Alone is a horror film.
Yeah, it is. It is. The guy buried all those bodies in the grit bucket. Okay, it's a horror film.
Yeah, that salt bucket where he can just about get his spade into it. That he comes out with loads of salt on the shovel. How did you do that?
But the only horror film in the world with John Candy in it.
I love John Candy.
John Candy's amazing. When you think about the amount of people that are actually in that film that are like a bit like Catherine O'Hara, stuff like that, like Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, you know, John Candy. That's a big cast, big film, and like, it's amazing, isn't it? It's just so cool.
Yeah.
I love John Candy.
There you go, guys.
The poker guy.
Shall he twist the poker?
Very nice.
No?
Yeah. Yes, Alex. Midnight Poker? No, that's
what a film! That's a great job. I think, you know, like Dan said, it's nation's favourite. You can understand why, and it almost doesn't get boring. Right?
No. Yeah, it's definitely a film you watch every Christmas.
Yeah,
without fail.
Yeah, without fail. Yeah.
Right, and moving on.
Number one, couldn't it? It could probably be all of our number ones. That, to be fair, Home Alone. Could probably no.
Not Elliot's.
Home Alone 2, mate.
When I get to mine, that's a cool time. There's no question.
Go for it, Elliot.
Shall I go with mine? Okay, so my one is The Muppets Christmas Carol.
He was the greediest man alive.
It's Ebenezer Scrooge.
Until the night he met someone extraordinary.
Hello.
Hands down best.
Of course it is.
A poll by BBC Radio 2 did a poll yesterday, and the top two Christmas films were Die Hard and Muppets Christmas Carol. But it's
You're joking.
Carol because Die Hard isn't actually a Christmas film.
Oh no! The Die Hard's Christmas film debate.
Die Hard is a Christmas film.
No, it's not.
I love that Elliot's listening to Radio 2. He's on Radio 2, like, with all the older people, like, yeah, great call. Love that.
I've been calling in, going, can we get more votes on Muppets Christmas Carol, please?
The Muppets Christmas Carol.
Amazing film. You know, it's one of those ones. It's like it's the Christmas Carol. It's a famous story. Everyone knows it. But I would argue that this is probably most young people, especially our generation, potentially. It's probably most young people's first introduction to this story is through the Muppets Christmas Carol. I've read the book, but in my later years, I read it actually about 3 years ago, and it is an amazing book. But I just love the Muppets Christmas Carol. I think it's so good. It's so like heartwarming, and the story's amazing. And Michael Caine is so good in it. It's sort of unlike you've ever seen him before, isn't it? Really, like Michael Caine singing and dancing. Like I'm trying so hard not to sing any of the songs.
I know you are. I know you are.
Yeah,
but so badly want to do Kermit the Frog's voice right now. You have no idea.
Well, it's in the singing of the street corner choir.
Keep going, mate.
Freaking love it so much. So it came out in the best year possible, 1992, which is when I was born. So I think it's like my kindred spirit of films. It's a bit like Alex as well, where I watch it every year. I'm planning on watching it soon. I want to watch it because this for me has been a year I don't really feel that Christmassy, but I feel like if I watch Muppets Christmas Carol, I'll probably get in the Christmas spirit a little bit more. It's got pretty good reviews across the board. 4 out of 5 from Empire, 76 from Rotten Tomatoes, 8 out of 10 on IMDb. It's a solid film. I think you can't really mess up the story of A Christmas Carol. If you've got the right sort of formula and you follow the story right, it's that good of a story that it's a winner, isn't it? And I think just adding the Muppets into it, it's been
done so many times. I was just saying, A Christmas Carol's obviously been done so many times in so many different ways. From the top of my head, I think the latest one was the Jim Carrey one, maybe.
Yeah, he loves a
I
Christmas
think it was.
film,
Yeah, it's called a Christmas Carol. Actually, it's really good as well. I didn't think I'd like it, but I actually did like.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I think I just like the story of A Christmas Carol. It's almost like I think it doesn't matter what it is. I just end up liking it. But I think with the Muppets Christmas Carol, I think what makes it better is the songs. It is the fact that it's humorous as well with freaking Muppets. So it's
anything with the Muppets in wins.
Yeah, and I think it's just all round is a good film. I know it's a film that when I have kids, I will be showing them this. I hope they get into it. And I think it's such a nice story. It's about redemption, and you can sort of change and stuff like that. And I think that's great. It's I think this for me is my generation stuff. When I talk to my mum about Christmas films, hers is stuff like It's a Wonderful Life, which is a very similar story, really, as the Muppets Christmas Carol. And I think these stories do well around Christmas about you can change and you can be a better person. And I think that for me, that's just Christmas. That's the songs obviously are amazing. So
it's in the singing of the street corner choir. It's going home and getting warm by the fire. It's true wherever you find love, it feels like Christmas.
It's a musical. I think that's what makes it different a little bit. It's a musical, isn't it? That's sort of what gives it that little bit of a different factor to it. To a lot of Christmas films are generally associated with songs, aren't they? It is music which sort of carries them through, because that's what Christmas, as Alex was saying earlier, sort of that whole choir aspect of Christmas, sort of what resonates with people. And that's why I think Muppets is brilliant for it. The writing in it and the songs in it are brilliant. To be fair,
actually quite a scary film as well. I know when I was growing up, I found it quite scary. Like the I think from when the Ghost of Christmas Present gets old, and then you see the Ghost of Christmas Future. That for me, that it gets quite scary. And I still now, when I watch Muppets Christmas Carol, I think, oh, this is a freaky bit. Like I remember as a kid, it really freaked me out. But then obviously it comes around and it's really nice and warm and just like fun. I think it's such a brilliant story, and that's my one, and that's why we don't need to do any more, because that's the best film ever. So good night, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Very nice.
And it leaves chat like. Dear Lord,
should we move on to the actual number one Christmas film now?
Stop it. Yeah, go on, mate.
And it's not The Dark Knight Rises.
The thing is,
well, it might be.
Yeah, but there's a good scene in it.
Die Hard's it's got a Christmas tree in it.
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of people...
Just like Die Hard.
I know what your pick is, Dan, and I know that I would be heavily outnumbered. I think You're
Am I
right.
giving it away a bit?
Sorry.
Am I giving it away a bit?
Well, if
Yeah.
it's not Die Hard now, there's no point.
I don't remember him wearing an elf costume in Die Hard.
No, it's Alf.
Ow! Son of a nutcracker!
We can take him.
Yeah. So yeah, bit of a giveaway, but it's Alf.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, Will Ferrell. This was the film that was basically going to make or break his career, and I just think it's it's funny. It's different Christmas film from all them others out there. It's centered around an elf rather than like Father Christmas. And it's basically he's just a big kid who's basically obviously doesn't know the real world, but it's just basically what you still would like to be like rather than be an adult. And he does all these silly things and he doesn't even realise he's doing anything wrong. And I think that's what's so good about it and what's so funny about it. And I don't think anyone else could have played it like Will Ferrell.
Definitely.
And he definitely makes the film.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great shot, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he shows up in it too, doesn't he? He makes a little cameo. It's quite cool. Yeah, yeah. He's the pediatric doctor who shows up to look and he eats the cotton candy and he takes the thing off of him.
Of course he is, yeah. I actually haven't seen it in ages. Right.
I watched it today, actually, which was I watched it today. Yeah. I watched it today. I watched it a couple of times already. So I watched it a couple of times, but yeah, it's a great one, Dad. It's a great show. I love it.
Yeah, another film that I always watch every Christmas. To be fair, I haven't got round to it this year.
That's got to be in the nation's top 3, surely. Nice. I imagine it is.
I think so.
I would say most people, our generation and younger, would say it's their favourite film. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't got round to watching it yet, but there's this documentary about
See you, Elliot.
about Christmas.
Spilt my pint. Carry on.
Yeah, I was saying there's a documentary on Netflix about Christmas films, and it centers around Elf as one of them. But like I say, I haven't got round to seeing it. Have any of you managed to watch it?
I haven't, but someone's told me some stuff about it, and like there's some cool facts.
It looks really interesting.
When he's running down the street and there's that guy in a red tracksuit, and he shouts at him. He's going, "Santa, Santa!" like that. That guy's not an actor. He was just randomly in the street, and they did that to him, which is quite funny. But
I don't know. That's cool.
I think that role is just suited to Will Ferrell because like Will Ferrell basically plays that in every film, but it works in Elf because he's just an idiot. Like,
Okay, people, Santa's coming to town. Santa! Oh my God! I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, two best films. Yeah, you say his two best films, Elf and Step Brothers, both where he plays a younger sort of mindset. So,
yeah, definitely.
Well, he actually turned down, I think it was $29 million to play in the second film.
What, in Elf 2?
Elf 2, 2013, it was supposed to have been. He turned it down.
Oh, really?
Jesus, no, there was a second one, mate.
Well, I don't know if it was meant to come out then or that's when he turned it down type thing, but I suppose without him, there's no point in making it.
No, definitely not.
I think it's I think it's a standalone film. Why ruin it?
100%.
Yeah, there's a lot like that in there. A lot which follow on with like a number 2 when they don't need to. And that's happening a lot at the moment. There's a lot of follow-on films which really don't need to exist. I watched that. Have you seen The Christmas Chronicles yet? The one with Kurt Russell?
I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. The second
I've watched both of them. I really enjoyed them, to be honest.
Yeah, that's quite good.
I thought it was pretty good.
It's probably one of the better new Christmas films I've seen, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
Goldie Hawn and... Not Goldie Hawn. It's...
Forget
it.
Didn't Chris Columbus do that one?
Huh?
Chris Columbus did this one, didn't he?
Did he do Christmas Chronicles as well? Did he?
I think so. Might have to do a quick Google search for that.
That'd be good. Yeah, no, that's it. But it's a good.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, did he?
He did, yeah.
Makes
Did
sense.
the second one,
Makes
yeah.
sense.
That you didn't do the first one.
Oh,
They did the
okay.
second one.
Second.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But that's sort of a Netflix original, which has taken off well. I'd say watch it, boys. If you get around to watching both of them, I'd give it a go. You know, it's
Like my
Yeah.
film's main character, I'm a bit of a Scrooge, so I probably won't watch it. So
no. Ooh.
no,
It's definitely like a couple of the best recent Christmas films out there. So I think there's a lot, especially on Netflix. There's a lot of Christmas films on there that are just not even worth watching.
There's a lot.
Dan's seen them all. Haven't you, Dan?
Yeah, no, the wife literally puts them on because she'll say, "Oh, if you're not about, I'll watch what I know you won't want to watch," and I just end up getting like glimpses of it and go, "This is shocking."
There's so many good Christmas films that we haven't even talked about, though. There's like, Love Actually is
Yes. Oh yeah, of course.
Film that is a film that is storytelling and characters like perfection. So good. Jingle All the Way. We didn't talk. I think The Santa Claus is a great film. Miracle.
Yeah, definitely.
Street. There's so many.
Bill Murray's Scrooge, which is great fun.
Did you say Scrooge?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Bill Murray, isn't it? Yeah. That's good.
Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, quite a good one.
Yeah.
For the kids, it's quite a good film. It's got a lot. I'm sure we've missed hundreds of great ones.
It's a Wonderful Life. That's one.
Yeah. Polar Express. It's a good one with Tom
Oh
Hanks.
yes.
There's a Christmas film that me and Alex really like, but we can't remember. We can only remember tiny scenes from it. But like from my childhood, I remember watching it, and it was like this street kid that kind of doesn't believe in Father Christmas, and then Father Christmas is real, but something happens in the North Pole, and all the kids get dodgy presents. And
that is Santa Claus, the film. That's Santa Claus.
I thought it was because we weren't sure that. Because there's the Santa Claus, isn't there? Which is the Tim Allen one.
With Tim Allen. No, that's Santa Claus before. That's really old. That's like a throwback. That's really, really old.
Yeah. Santa Claus the movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just remember this like kid getting a bike and him riding it down the street and like the wheel falling off and stuff like that.
It's like a tricycle, isn't it? It's in the old like American suburbs, and the houses are painted perfectly. And
that for me was a massive Christmas film, but I just didn't know the name of it, so I've never been able to watch it since I was a kid. But like, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I watched it the other day.
Isn't there some sort of like street kid who like wears like a leather jacket?
Yeah, it's a homeless kid who Santa Claus runs into.
Yeah, we talked about
flies
that.
in and meets him.
Yeah,
he's the first one. He's like, Santa's real, and everyone's like, no. And then they got this weird uncle who's played by who's the king in Shrek? What's his name?
John Cleese.
No, Lord Farquaad. Even who's that?
Some of you may die. That is a risk I will take.
But he's the uncle in it who's is making the fake presents with this elf who sort of shows up. And what's his name? That's gonna bug me, man.
Oh mate, I'll do another Google.
It's a good film. It is a good film.
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow, yeah.
Oh, I love John Lithgow.
Yeah, he's class. He's the bad uncle in it, who's father to the girl who loves Santa Claus, and it's a really good film actually. Yeah, it is a good film.
I'm gonna have to check that out again because that's a childhood classic. So we've got some good films here today. We talked about some. What have we had? We've had Elf, Muppets Christmas Carol, which is top, then Home Alone, and Jack Walsh.
Let him work it out.
The Grinch.
The Grinch.
Just forgot it already, Jack.
It's so good, I can't remember it.
Great review from me, really.
To be fair, if this has been a difficult year for people, and if you're looking to get in the Christmas spirit, they are 4 films that will have you singing and dancing in no time, all Christmassy. I can't wait to get this Christmas jacket off me. It's burning my skin.
Jeez,
I'm lovely and snug.
Dad, you're in bed. Dad's got a hot water bottle by his feet.
Dad was some strange green Jedi in the corner. Alec Guinness.
Strike me down, and I will become.
And I'll become a better elf than you could possibly. No, that was a good roundup, boys. That's 4. That's only 4. I mean, we didn't go for top 5 because there's only 4 of us. But
did show you my bells.
We're all gonna leave now. Leave Dan to play with his bells. I'll be back.
But I suppose we should say thank you for anyone who's watched all through this end of the year that we've been doing this. Next year we're going to come back stronger and with loads more content. And thanks. Merry Christmas.
Let's hope we can
Merry Christmas, guys.
Let's hope we can get in the cinema next year.
Yeah,
guys. Lockdown at the moment is tough, so this would be one. I know everyone's in lockdown now, so this maybe watching, as Elliot said, these 4 definitely help that out, and you've got a lot of time to spare, so try and watch as many Christmas films as you can to sort of lighten the mood, I'd say.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
But guys, awesome.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, boys.
It's in the singing of
Yeah,
the
boys.
on a choir. It's going home and getting warm by the
Kevin!
Where are you, Christmas? It's like a rap battle.
I like your one. Do it again.
Where are you?
Do the song from Elf, Dan. Come on, do the song from Elf. I love you.
Put me on
I love you.
I love you. I'm in the store and I'm singing.